YouTube, what is up? Alright, so today we're going to be taking a look at the Captain Marvel Kree Sentry Build-A-Figure wave. I know a lot of people were saying that they're disappointed in this wave. I think that's going to be subject to change. With the movie coming out, I think people are going to have a change of heart and may end up enjoying some of these figures a little more. I got a couple of figs that I do, maybe 3 of them out of the 6 that I really dig. So let's go ahead and take a look at them. We're going to be looking at this wave in its entirety. I'm not going to break it up. There's a lot of videos out there. I'm just going to be giving some opinions on some of these figures. Let's back this up a little bit. Here we got Marvel's Grey Gargoyle. And here is his bio. And one thing that I didn't like, well, I could just go ahead and read it off. It says, Dr. Paul Duvall discovers his ability to turn his body to stone and become the transmuting mercenary Grey Gargoyle. Alright, that is highly inaccurate. And he actually had an accident. He was working on something. The guy spilled some chemicals on his hand, turned his hand into stone, freaked out, touched his other hand, and then touched his face. But then when he realized what it had done, he ended up turning his whole body into stone. Purposely. This guy is an old school bad guy. Mostly known for getting his tail handed to him, I could say. It's not like one of these guys that, poses a huge threat. I mean, he's really not menacing at all. But, that's neither here nor there. And he quite often gets shot into space by everybody he encounters and finds his way back to Earth. Very weird. That's going to be one of the comic book characters that we got. There's that UPC. Genis Vell. There's the bio there. We're not going to talk too much about him. We'll go over him and some of the things that he came with in a second. So there's that UPC, Genis Vell. Showed the Grey Gargoyle already. Here's Talos, one of the ones that I like out of this series. Face sculpt is really nice. Again, there's his read up. Not necessarily a bio. I called it a bio earlier, but it's a read up. And there's that UPC there. So that's going to be one of the 3 that I like. Here's Nick Fury, which is a pretty cool looking figure. Now let's go ahead and show that. Read up on the back. Alright. Young looking Samuel Jackson. It's kind of cool. And then the 2 Captain Marvel figures. There's the differences in the promotional photos on the side. And their read-ups are different. Good old Carol Danvers. Alright, and this one doesn't come with the bath. We all know that by now. UPC. There you go. And UPC for her with her bomber jacket. And her cat Goose. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and crack these open. We'll talk about the figures a little bit. We'll put this bath together. A bath that is underwhelming for most people. I'm not going to lie, I kind of dig it. One of the first run-ins with the Kree, the Fantastic Four, were going on vacation, and I think only a few of them went. I think everybody went except maybe the Human Torch, if I recall correctly. And they end up on this island where it was taken over by the Kree, and they had a lot of their technology on this island. And what ends up happening is, they activate the Kree Sentry, and there's a huge fight. They end up fighting, and he's like, "Hey, I'm programmed to fight you guys. I don't want to fight you guys. Just leave." And, he still ends up fighting them. They end up fighting. So that's pretty much the backstory of this Kree Sentry. Although I believe it had a certain name. It was like Kree Sentry number dash letter or something, whatever. Don't recall. I'm not going to go look for it or look into it. All right, so let's crack all of them open and see what we have. So here we have, just going to call this the Carol Danvers and this the Captain Marvel. Same person, right? We all know that. We have those two out of package. The Captain Marvel does not come with the buff piece, if you don't know by now. And the Carol Danvers comes with the left arm for that Kree Sentry. Kind of resembles a straight up Sentry figure. I mean, if it was a little bigger or, much longer, maybe a little bigger, I could see them probably reusing this, maybe blowing it up a little, some retooling, and giving us a Sentry. So there's that. And then this is the head scope that came with Captain Marvel. Not a bad look. On camera doesn't look too great, but in person it's not too bad. Her head on camera looks a little wider than what it is. And she also came with a pair of flat flight hands. See, I don't know if we can get that to focus a little better. These are on hinges. And here she is in all her glory. It's not a bad fig. I kind of like it. Double jointed knees. We're not going to go over too much articulation, but for what it is, it's pretty nice. I actually like it. I'm not too sure which store is going to have it, but there's going to be 2 other exclusive versions of her. One where looks like she's on fire. She's going to be having the mohawk with the flames. And from the looks of it, that one looks like it's going to be awesome. And then they're going to have the one where she's in her green suit, which is going to be cool. And that's going to come with alternative head. And you're going to be able to put together a Minerva figure, which is pretty awesome. And that's going to come with weapons for that figure if you rather have her shelved. So, I mean, we might end up needing two of those. One to have her in a green suit and one to create the other figure. Now, this head sculpt's not too bad either. It's looks a little weird, especially. This looks like she has a 5 head. Let's see if we can get it to at least look decent. Yeah, and that came with the kitty. Bomber jacket, pretty much the same. Same colors. Same butt. Yeah. Not bad. These are pretty cool. Alright, let's crack the next two are the rest open even. And here we have Talos and Nick Fury out of package. Talos came with the left leg. This kind of looks like it's going to be hard to tell the left from the right, but on the inside, it would say L1 on the left leg. And the right leg with the fist, or the right arm with the fist, came with Nick Fury. Left arm, open-handed, came with the Carol Danvers. So, not too bad so far. Fury did come with a pistol, trigger finger, and this cat seems to plug in either hand. This one not as good, right hand. It's a better fit. He has a better grip on it. A lot of people say we've seen this mode before, or this suited body. We actually haven't. This figure is a little taller. The sculpt is actually really different on the pants. The torso is a little bigger. And this one has sculpted gun holster and clips on one side. Mine is poorly painted. So is his head around the edges. His tie, there's a little bit of white coming through. But overall, it's not too bad. And, you know, I'm sure you've seen comparisons. And it's going to have the same pistol. It does look the same, but not quite sure yet. So, I don't know. This one looks a little thicker. Fury's pistol looks a little thicker than that one. Although, on camera, they look pretty much the same. And as you can see, one is much taller than the other. So, not the same at all. So the Talos, we've been told that this is not a bad figure. I like it. The head sculpt's cool. Although when I got mine out of box, he kind of was looking like Frankenstein with his hands out. But, you know, that's just me. He looked like Frankenstein to me. So let's see if we can get this off and see what's going on under here. What's going on? Oh, maybe I should have not done this on camera. Oh well. And people are probably gonna army build this figure. There's a shot on one of the promotional videos where you got a few of these guys coming out of the ocean or water of some sort, and they all look the same. The only thing that was different was the main one who was walking in front, which I assume is Talos. His trench coat looked a little longer. I don't know if there's anything to that at all, really, but I'm going to end up messing this figure up. But come on. Is that in there? No, it's not. Okay. All right, let's pause this. So, after wrestling with that jacket for a couple of minutes, it was a pain to take off. But we can see that this is pretty much the exact same. All the way from the boots up And not the arms. Arms are different. Hands are different. Arms are different. But not too bad. I think I kind of loosened mine up, taking that coat off. I don't recommend you guys do it unless you guys are gonna swap this out for something else, or I don't know why you would want to take it off. I don't recommend doing it. It didn't come off that easy at all. Yeah, that's not a good look. But I do have one of the older shield agents. Let's pause this. Yeah, so I don't know what to make of that one. But it fits. The head fits on pretty snugly. It's not too bad. Not a bad look. Nick Fury in his shield gear. Let's go ahead and put this back. And let's crack the other two open. So here we have Genis Vell and Great Gargoyle opened and not a package. Not too bad. I mean, the Genis Vell is actually really cool. And as you can see, he has his negaband just molded in plain plastic. Great Gargoyle, he's not necessarily an important character for us to have. Classic, yes. Important, not really. I mean, he's pretty meaningless. I can't really say too much about him, other than he's a corny character. I mean, it's cool to have a figure of him. You know, as somebody who collects a little bit of everything, I mean, this is something that I wouldn't have wished for or wanted and said, oh, hey, you know what? We need a Grey Gargoyle. Nah. But it's done nicely. It's not too bad. And this cape we haven't seen before. This actually wraps around his arms, straps him in. Collar looks cool. A lot of people said they can see the recipe here for Mr. Sinister. I don't know. I like to see maybe thicker, maybe a little taller Mr. Sinister. But you never know. And everyone has even said that this is the perfect recipe for some new Kree soldiers. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I can see that happening. That's an easy repaint. And, you know, giving us a couple of, what was I saying? Yeah, giving us a couple of figures swaps or a bash of figures and reusing them that we're saying. Sorry, I was reaching for something along the lines of, oh, you can get Whirlwind and use some of his parts and take his head off and, switch heads and, there you pretty much would have it. Throw this head on here, which is loose. That's not going to fit. Add the shoulder pads. Give him some weapons and call it a day. Sorry about that. I don't think so. That doesn't look good at all. Head doesn't even stay on. So they'll have to do some retooling to it for it to work out. But, I mean, it's possible. And crazy thing is, I could have swore I had the entire set. So either I'm going to have to look for the other guy, or I do not know where Yon Rogg went. So that's kind of strange. I mean, I could have sworn I picked up the whole set. Anyway, I'm going to take a time out and look for him. Hopefully I find him. If not, I'm going to go buy him. Alright, YouTube, so we managed to go pick that figure up, that Yon Rogg. And again, I thought I had him. Guess not. So here he is in package. Let's go ahead and lean this up a little. Decent looking figure. I'm starting to think I might have left him on purpose. I don't really know the character. In fact, none of us really do. There's a read up. Pretty much the same picture on the back end, on the sides. So let's go ahead and crack him open. Alright, so here we have Yon Rogg out of package. And if you're interested, there's that UPC. Oh, now I just knocked him over. Famous for knocking things over. Anyway. In package, wasn't too impressed. Out of package, it's okay. It's not terrible. A lot of new work here on this one, of course. Nothing looks to be a reuse of anything of sort. Not even the boots. Not terrible. I mean, we've yet to see the movie. Maybe, yeah. Maybe after we see the movie, we might appreciate him a little more. But not bad. This guy is going to be played by Jude Law. And that is definitely not a spoiler. Not a bad look. It's pretty cool. And again, if he's a cool character in the movie, might be a cool figure to have. But either way, I mean, I'm happy to have him. I mean, we needed him to complete the Kree Sentry, which is okay. I know a lot of people don't really dig him. But if you were into comic books, you would know that he was one of the first encounters with the Kree. So I kind of want to have him faced off against the Fantastic Four. Let's go ahead and pause this and get that set up for you. So there we got the Kree Sentry up against the Fantastic Four. And like I said, this was an homage to the comic book when they first showed us this Kree Sentry. In fact, the first encounter with the Kree, like I said. Kind of cool. Not bad. Oh, and another funny thing. Speaking of this series and the Fantastic Four. Sorry, I was trying to sit down. There was an incident where the Fantastic Four faced off with this guy here, the Grey Gargoyle, and him and the Thing are fighting it out, and he ends up trying to turn the Thing into stone. Well, since he's already stone, it had the exact opposite effect. It ended up turning him back human, which is funny and kind of cool at the same time. Anyway, that's going to do it. You guys please like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Thank you, and as always, take care.